Hello. So I am here to start my vlog about what is dance movement therapy. I just got home from work again because this is when I think a lot and talk to myself a lot, and I just wanted to bring you into what is happening in my mind. Right now I'm looking at my husband bring my son home, and I'm just waiting for him to look at me like, why aren't you coming inside? My son was just screaming and crying while he was trying to talk to me. So I'm sure he wants me to say or do something, as he always will. For those of you who are wifeys slash mommies, we keep the world spinning. Go us, we're awesome. I'm trying to get used to like my cameras on the side. So I'm like, look over there, look over there. So if I'm a little awkward, I'm looking here and then I'm looking there and I'm looking here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get used to it. Oh, here they come. Okay, I gotta go, bye. I will resume. Hello again. So, ooh, look at that glare. Ooh, Curtis, ooh. Sorry, okay. Oh yes, okay. Oh, I know it's a busy background, but if you look at it, it's so cute. This is my child's artwork. Look at that one. Doesn't that like look so good? Or is it just me? It's just me. You know, because all parents, I'm sure, are like, oh, my child is the golden child or whatever. But that looks so good. Look at that. Okay, that's not the point. Point is, what is dance movement therapy? I think this is the part where I like find the Webster Dictionary version, or in this case, the ADTA.org definition of dance movement therapy. Maybe I'll include that in a minute. I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell you what I have been doing, and I'll remind you that this is still new to me. So if there's a little awkwardness where I'm like looking at myself and then I'm looking at you, that's why. I'm still figuring this out, trying to find the flow. Okay. Anyways, dance movement therapy is your way of naturally moving and embracing your natural rhythm, is how I would define it in my terms. From what I've learned and what I've discovered in my practice is dance is universal, and it's also defined by everyone differently. Like, I had a doctor one day that was like, that's not dance. Dance is ballet. End of story. That's it. Anything else that's not ballet is not dance, is basically how she worded it. And I was like, that's fine. Okay. For her, dance is ballet. And for me and how I've learned dance, it's evolved a lot because, you know, I'm a modern dancer. So, and now as a dance therapist, for me, dance is everything. It's where are you from? It's what do you believe? It's what do you follow? You know, because culture is going to define how you see dance. Because some people, when they hear certain music, they're going to move a certain way. And their cultural music is going to influence their dancing. So when I work with people, I always think to myself when I'm assessing someone, when they hear the word dance, what are they seeing? What are they anticipating? Because then that tells me and informs me, how I'm going to approach them. That's my son. Again, he's asking for more. More. Okay, you can have one more cookie, and then that's it. No more, okay? Did you drink your water? I love you. He's drinking his water. Cutie pie. If any of my, I'm gonna feel old when I say this, but if any of my Kip Sharpstown people are watching this, let me just show you this real quick. Oh, look at the back, look at the back. Oh. I still have this. He's laughing. I'm gonna turn red because I miss you guys. Y'all are hard and I learned so much from you guys. I was a dance teacher for like 3 years, like public school, charter public school dance teacher for 3 years. Like, maybe that's a conversation for another day. Anyways, so I figured I would talk to you a little bit about what a dance movement therapy session would look like. Because that's the main thing, is it looks different for everybody. I was just talking to someone just yesterday and she was like, oh, dance therapy. It sounds like it's evolving. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think that's safe to say. And she was talking about how using, like, expressing and exerting anger is not really, like, effective. And how she saw a dance therapist use that. I don't know if she was YouTubing or something. I don't know. But I went to tell her, you know, it just depends on the dance therapist and their cultural background, how they view dance, plus the client / patient that they're serving, and how they view dance or how they view movement. Oh, rewind. So why is it dance movement therapy? Why isn't it just dance therapy? Why isn't it just movement therapy? That goes back to how dance is defined in different ways. Some people view it as more movement based, and some people view it as like dance based. And it's just, when we use the term dance movement therapy, as clinicians, we're trying to reach as many people as we can and finding their natural rhythm and finding their natural way of moving. And there are different like techniques for finding that. But for me and how I do my practice, I do a very freestyle, and it's very like coming into the moment, understanding the body, understanding the present, and then meeting together in common ground. And that's how I do my work. Because sometimes I'm in a like merengue salsa mood and my ethnic roots come out and I'm like, let's go, 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 let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. And from this, if I see another Hispanic person or Latino person, Latinx, and they are understanding what I'm doing, and I'm communicating with them. It's like, okay, we're on the same wavelength. We're vibing together. Okay. And then from there, I can modulate different interventions that are going to meet their treatment goals, depending on what they are, whether it's reality orientation or cognitive skills and memory, social interactions. So it just depends. So I'll bring in that, or say what little training I have in African dance comes out, and I'm like, you know, doing my thing, you know, getting really grounded, you know. And I've run into someone who has a lot of African experience, African dance experience, you know, and I'm able to communicate with their body and they're able to communicate with my body, and we find that common ground. So those are just some few rough examples. Okay, so a more practical example. Let's see if I can think of one that I've done recently. Okay. Because let me just say this. I love doing dance therapy without music. Oh my God. feels so good. I love doing it. And I'll tell you why. I feel like sometimes, oh, hold on a second. What is it, baby? No more cookies. I already gave you 2. No more. No, you can have agua, or you can have some veggie straws. Okay, I don't feed my child veggie straws every day. I just want to throw that out there. It's been a couple days. So in the session I did recently, it was with the geriatric population. For people who don't know what geriatrics means, older people, like 65 and up-ish. So I was serving a geriatric population, and there's like 2 people with like severe acute symptoms where it's like disorganized thinking, and you can hear it by how they're talking. Anyways, so they have like delusional thoughts, sometimes like this word salad that doesn't make any sense. Like they'll be talking like butterfly, food, mouth, stick, or fun. You know, it does not make sense at all. Anyways, and there's like a couple people that are like a lot more, you know, typical. In other words, I can have a conversation with them like I'm talking to you right now, and we can stay on topic. Anyways, so I had them find some grounding, sense of grounding, and we're just sitting outside in a circle, and I have them just listen to the natural sounds and the man-made sounds filling the space. And I just invite them to close their eyes, and I have them, without saying what they're hearing, notice what you hear. The wind, the rain. It was like gentle rain, not like rain. It's like, anyways, construction workers, airplanes, things like that they're listening to. And for like, I want to say 5 minutes, you can see everyone's stillness, just in complete stillness with eyes closed, taking it in. They're like settling in their chairs, preparing to be present. Because my big thing is what's happening right now. Because we can get so overwhelmed, typical, not typical. We can get so overwhelmed by, okay, what is this supposed to be? You know, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Why am I sitting here? You know, why am I listening to the sounds of nature? You know, or I'm supposed to be doing something right now. You know, come on, let's do something. What's the purpose? Okay. Well, the purpose right now is becoming present. And that's like one of the main things that I, as a clinician, strive for my clients to just be connected with right now. So we do that. And as the session evolves, I invite them to slowly open their eyes and just look around and notice what they see. And that's all. It's a very classic grounding technique that a lot of therapists use, is just say what you see. And I don't necessarily tell them to say what they see. Sometimes I do, but in this session, I just told them to just notice. Notice the person that's next to you. Notice the person that's in front of you. And decide if you're going to smile at that person or just meet eye contact and move along. And that's it. And in this moment, I'm just telling them explicitly and implicitly. I'm telling them that they have an invitation to be curious. They have an invitation to choose who they want to acknowledge, or choose how they're going to acknowledge another person. So I do that, and I slowly evolve them into movement. I know that this is the geriatric population, and a big goal I have for them personally is just move. Just move in general, because they can be so sedentary. Is the word sedentary? Sure. We'll say the word is sedentary, okay? They can be so still, and sometimes it's hard for them to want to be curious, or for them to want to move forward, because they've done so much moving forward. Now they're setting back and being still. And some of them get so sedentary that it's not just a setback, it's a sink. And so their movement becomes very like narrow with very little reaching. Okay? So I try to get them to reach up, reach out, and expand their bodies. So we do this, we enter into this semi-guided movement experience where I'm having them reach up high and I'm having them reach out wide, and I'm bringing them to full circle to reach down to the ground and touch the earth. And I do a little bit of that. It's kind of yoga-like, a little bit. Reverse. And then I invite them to just open and expand and twist their bodies to make it a more multidimensional experience. And then out of this is where my dance movement therapy mind is like freedom, autonomy, natural way of moving. Boom, let's go. So then out of this, I just start twisting and I articulate verbally, like, just keep twisting and allow your mind to be curious and allow your body to be curious about allowing this twisting and reaching sensation to evolve. And so what we start to see, or what I start to see in the session, is people are reaching down and touching the earth on their own timing. People are reaching up to the sky and watching their fingers and seeing other people, mirroring other people, passing through, remaining independent, or choosing to move with other people. And what you just see, it kind of, sometimes I can be a little a little too present in myself, and I'm like, we probably all look like we're flying. Because also as a clinician, I like to be respectful about what I'm witnessing. Because as a dancer, sometimes being witnessed can be like looking at yourself in the mirror. And it can be like, oh, am I doing it right? So I turn a blind eye sometimes. Of course, I'm always looking, making sure everyone's being safe, making sure everybody's social boundaries are, good. But sometimes there's this need to please, and there's this need to be right, and there's this need to make sure you're doing everything right. So, and I have a lot of clients who will be like, am I doing this right? And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is not, are you doing this right? The point is, what do you need? What do you want? Because my biggest thing is autonomy. Because out of autonomy, then there's safety to delve deeper into what needs to happen next. So I spend a lot of time there, especially because the group is always changing. Anyways, so yeah, we did that. Reaching, scooping, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to remember what I did after that. Oh yes, okay. So the question now from that moment is, when does this stop? Or what stops this? Because usually there's a song playing and it stops when the song stops, but there's no song now. So how do you know when the movement stops? And that's another fun part about dance movement therapy, is you just gotta lean into it. And that's why it can be so closely related to improvisation, and why I also love improvisation, is you're letting go of the expectation. You're letting go of what your mind is trying to tell you about, that you need to stop now because class is almost over, or you need to stop now because people are bored, or you need to change something up really quickly. And that's where, the whole fun thought process of countertransference comes in. Maybe I'll talk about countertransference another day, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. What is dance movement therapy? So how is what I'm doing right now dance movement therapy? Oh, rewind. How did I end this? How did I bring this to a period? In this case, it was more of like an ellipses. Because I ran into that question while I was moving. I was like, this feels so good. So many beautiful elements are happening and so many independent goals are being met right now. And so I just take a look and I scan at the group, and I just notice how present they are with the moment. If they're still present in the moment, I let it go. I just keep it moving, and I try to stay as silent as much as possible to not break the or make a disturbance. And I allow themes to evolve, and I allow themes to just dissipate. And by themes, I mean like we're all moving differently, we're all reaching down, we're all spiraling or twisting or closing and opening. And then all of a sudden we're all, what were we doing? I think we were tapping our knees or something. I don't know. We're tapping our knees. Let's say we were tapping our knees. I can't remember. And that movement came by itself by one client, and the whole group grabbed onto it. And I said to myself, how long are we going to be tapping our knees for? I don't know. My body wants to naturally be like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. But my dance therapist in me is like, just wait a second. Because as you wait, you start to see something else evolve. Oh, my arms are starting to open. Okay, cool. Is anybody else opening their arms? Maybe. No, it's just me by myself. And there you are. You're back in your independent way. You're back in your independence. But you see how I just took a breath and how I'm just finally, I'm coming to my closing. I found my closing. And that's what happened. So we found common ground. We found our ending all together in an independent way. There's like a lot of like, question marks when it comes to this work. But let me tell you something, that's what makes it therapeutic, because when you're dealing with the mind and you're dealing with mental health, there are so many questions that you can't answer. And honestly, the more I learn and the more I do my own research and my own questioning, the more I learn that it's like that for any health field. Doctors, come on now. Like, so many doctors don't really know the answer to your problem. So many people end up having these crazy like diseases that have never been, what's the word called? Discovered before, or a rare disease that still hasn't been healed or whatever, or doesn't have a cause, or how did this come, or how can we prevent it? There's like so much stuff. Or even something as simple as pregnancy. You know, doctors will say this and that about how you can't get pregnant or how you can get pregnant, and then all of a sudden you get pregnant and you weren't expecting it and you were wanting to, but you couldn't, you know, and a doctor's like, that's impossible. Exactly. There's so much mystery of the body that words can't put together, or that science can only do so much to understand. So if you're interested in this field, do know that there are going to be a lot of question marks, and that's okay. It's okay. It's diving into the unknown. There's a lot of diving into the unknown, and I think that's also why it's so important to have a supervisor or have a peer that is going through it with you to talk to about it. Anyways, I hope I answered the question of what dance movement therapy is. I hope that I gave y'all a clear enough example. If you want more examples, I'm willing to walk you through another session. I could walk you through an individual session. Oh man, those are fun. Oh. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, ask me questions, and have a good day.